I don't think I ever fully felt cared for as
Mm.
an adult or as a kid coming up. Like, there's a number of reasons for it. I come from a big family, like, no one had enough attention. So, whenever I see people really caring about someone else who's like a stranger, like, so a doctor for a patient, if they do it the right way, I think that really strikes me.
Oh, that's really beautiful.
Hello and welcome to the It's Gonna Be Fine podcast. Guess what? I'm not alone today. Cindy's here. Hey, Cindy.
Hi.
How are you?
I am having a very nice day, which I haven't had in a long time. So, yeah, I'm delighted to be here.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited. You were at the spa this morning.
I was. I was.
First time in
I
a while.
First time since I moved to New York in August.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What brought that up?
I've been feeling just really anxious and stressed, and my back's been hurting. And I was like, I need a massage. I don't think I could get on the subway to get a massage because that feels like it's just going to undo it.
Right?
And so I was Googling, like, what massage near me? And I found that tucked under the subway, like under it's the elevated train. You're probably familiar with that. With Chicago, I live
Yes,
in
yes.
Brooklyn. We've got some elevated trains. It's the F, but just like tucked under the F train is this place called World Spa, about a mile away from my house. It is what it advertises. It's like you get massages, but they also have treatment rooms from every like possible type of culture. So maybe not every culture, but like they have a Japanese section and a Turkish section and a Moroccan section and a Finnish section, Eastern European,
Oh.
Himalayan. Like that's a lot of cultures.
And like a room for each?
Yeah, so like you can
Oh,
go
it's a
into
lot of
like the
rooms.
Moroccan steam room or the Moroccan bath and then the Japanese onsen and I was like, okay, I'm gonna check this out. The reviews were like mixed, but my sister had lived around the corner, and so I texted her, and she's like, I still talk about it 2.5 years later. Go, and I went, and it was like being in Hawaii. Only
Oh,
I was like surrounded by like the subway and all of these auto repair shops. So it was like the entrance to the spa is like this really beautiful like glitzy building, and everything around it is just like the dirtiest part of Brooklyn. It's just like the nicest thing in addition to the spa on the street is a Dunkin' Donuts.
oh,
And like that's not like high class.
no.
But then you walk in and you're like, oh, I am in a luxury resort in Hawaii.
Do you think they chose that location on purpose so that you felt like how different it was?
I imagine like the real estate was just
Yeah.
super cheap. Like it's a 3 floor experience with all of these hookups. Like it seems like a very expensive thing to build. And like what
Oh,
what else is going to be there? Like another auto body shop. But I wanted to tell you something about the spot because
yeah.
I need your perspective on it. While I
Okay.
was there, I was like, oh, thank God I'm recording with Monty today. I'm lying in the Himalayan salt room.
Hmm.
Have you ever been to a Himalayan salt room?
No, but I need one in my house. I just
Okay.
need a room
You
called
need
a Himalayan salt
you
room.
need a Himalayan salt. They sell Himalayan salt lamps. Go buy one.
Okay.
Come to New York, and we're gonna go to the spa. It's like a not quite a sauna. It's a little bit colder than a sauna, and it's just like dries you with these salts. It's very relaxing. It doesn't really matter what room it is because I walk in and there's a woman there lying in this like very lush chair with her cell phone and her laptop. She's just like two devices lying in the spot, and I was like, okay, look, I get it's Monday morning. Like, fine. People have work.
Right.
Okay. But like if you had somewhere to be, like don't be here. And I didn't know, like, am I supposed to say something? Are we so connected to technology that like we cannot even sit? You're not allowed to be in the Himalayan salt room like medically for more than 15 minutes. So I was like, okay, ma'am. Like if you can't go 15 minutes in a
Yeah.
spa day that you're spending like a decent amount of money on, like to not bring your laptop in. You want to scroll on your phone, not my vibe, fine. But the two devices? What was happening?
No.
I need your take.
Well, I have a story about this too that it reminds me of. But That's bizarre. Like I agree. Why would you go? The only thing I can think of is she went there because she had this. Was she like on the phone talking or?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say maybe she had some really stressful work call that she had to take from the Himalayan salt room. But I guess that wasn't it. But no, I agree. Like I don't even think any device should be there. Like it takes away from the purpose, right? Of
It took away from my vibe because I
yeah,
was
that's a
like,
good point too.
"What's
Like
happening here? Like, when are you
yeah,
gonna start click-clacking?" She wasn't, and I was like, "If you're not even typing, then what's with the laptop?" She was not watching anything. Like, there were no headphones, so like, it's not like she came to like watch a movie in the Himalayan
yeah,
salt room, which I'm opposed to, but I could at least understand like there's a there. But no idea. Like, what?
crazy.
Like, what does that say about us as people
Yeah,
that we
we
bring
can't
our
disconnect.
multiple devices to a spa treatment? Like,
Yeah, and did she have like a charger with her too? Because that's like insanity.
thank God, no.
Okay.
She did not. I was wondering if like maybe she's like a content creator and like
Oh,
she's like
oh,
influencing from the Himalayan salt room.
salt
Like maybe
room.
she was like an OnlyFans experience. So like I
Mm.
don't know, but I was like, this is detracting from my
And was
takeaway.
there's no staff in the room or anything like that?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wonder if someone would have like, ma'am,
Would you have complained?
if it bothered me, yeah. Like, so if I as a guest felt distracted or that it wasn't, then I would have said something, I think. Yeah.
I was
Did you?
going to. I didn't because when I got out of the Himalayan salt room, someone had taken my towel.
Oh, God.
Or no, sorry, my bathrobe. And like the only one that was left was someone who was wet. And I was like, I'm not getting a wet robe. And then I was like, I can't be the person who goes to the spa and complains about like asks for a new bathrobe and complains about the woman with the laptop. And so in that moment, I was like, well, which is more important to me? And it's, well, one is like a fight for injustice, and one is like having a comfortable soft towel. And
Right.
I think in
You
this
chose
moment,
yourself.
I'm choosing myself because
Yeah,
I am at the spa and
exactly.
that's what you do there. So
Right. The first time since you moved to New York in August, like it's time, 9 months
it's
ago. Yeah.
yeah. So, but what's your
Yeah.
story?
So, well, two things. Number one, you mentioned the Finnish room. Did you know that my name, Mati, in Finland is like John?
Really?
Yeah. It's like the most common name. It comes up from time to time. I'll talk to someone who like is from there or works there or lived there or has family. I don't know. And they all are like, oh, yeah, that's the most common name in Finland. Like, I have to go.
You have to go. Oh
I
my
know.
God. That is like a bucket list trip.
Yeah, no, I'll have to go. Okay, no, I went to, so this was 2017. I was in London and I
Mhm.
went to Stonehenge, which I think is one of the seven wonders of the world. If not, it's like an honorary. I don't know
Yeah.
if it, but it's one of them.
It's impressive.
Yes. And I went there with a friend who lived in London at the time. And the way to get there is we took like a train and then you have to like take a bus to the actual site that they take you. There was a guy in the front of the bus on a work call as we're pulling up to Stonehenge. I was like, of all times, like you are at maybe one of the seven wonders of the world, again, if not one of the greatest things to see live, and you are talking about some deliverable. We weren't even almost there. We were there, and he's just like yapping on the phone. My friend and I were like, "What's the point? Like, what?"
Yeah. It's like remote work is a blessing and a curse, right? Because like, it's amazing that you could, if you're this guy, go to Stonehenge and like work from London and have like a vacation without having to, take a lot of days off. But there has to be a boundary, right? Like if
Yeah,
you're gonna have remote work, you need to be like, I work remotely, but it doesn't mean I work everywhere I go. Like I can go to Stonehenge without working. I could go to the spa without working. Like it doesn't mean work 24 hours a day from wherever you are. I was in, this is like maybe off topic, but I was in a coffee shop the other day working, which is fine remotely. And it's a coffee shop that actually has a private room for if you need to take calls, which I'd never seen
oh,
before. I thought that was very cool. It was also a Christian bookstore that specializes in Bibles in whatever language you need. So you could like come to Jesus however you want, which I thought was like really not what I was expecting, but very like welcoming. Anyway, I'm sitting there. Private room is open. Woman across from me just like gets on a Zoom, headphonelessly, takes her meeting. The people she's on the Zoom with, like, have no idea that this is being broadcast, to
right.
the very crowded Christian bookstore coffee shop. then he's like, okay, and I'm gonna stay on for like another 5 minutes to debrief. And like she debriefs with someone, and she's like, I'm having some trouble hearing you because they're brewing coffee. I'm in a coffee shop. I was like, I think he knows. First of all, he's like people, he could see you,
Yeah.
um, but also like if you know you're in a coffee shop, you have some level of self awareness that
Right.
this is not a place to take a headphoneless meeting when there's an open private room. Like the world is not your office. Other people are here working too, quietly. And I wonder where the social norms are.
I agree. And I think they changed in 2020. That because I remember post 2020, like 2021, when people were kind of going back to the office, we faced this in the office all the time. Now everyone's out in the open and they would just like take their calls as if they were sitting in their basement remotely. And it's like, sir, I'm right next to you. Put on
Yeah,
some headphones.
yeah. And like are you talking about something proprietary? Like like when you're all in the same office, it's fine because like presumably you're all entitled to know the business. But like
Well, it's just distracting though. Like,
it's
if you just hear someone, you're not involved. But yeah,
oh, it's super distracting.
yeah.
But like this also feels like it's inappropriate, right?
And
Like
probably goes against her company's like handbook. Like, they're very specific about privacy.
yeah, and like if I was on that Zoom, I'd feel like very violated. Like
Yeah.
I did not think I was going to be sharing this meeting with the class. And so, right? Or like in the spa or whatever it is. I don't know. I feel like the culture of social norms and is just different than I
Hmm.
was led to believe.
Yeah. I was thinking my Stonehenge guy, like he's the type of guy that would like take a call like at the altar of his wedding. He'd be like, I just like have my phone on just in case, right? Like I got to close a deal. Like, yuck.
Oh my God.
I know.
Ugh.
Well, I'm glad you hopefully feel somewhat relaxed
I
from
do
this
feel
one.
relaxed. I
Good.
do feel relaxed. But yeah, thank you for letting me
Yeah.
wax poetic, I guess, or angrily, wax angrily. I don't know if that's a phrase about, you know.
Yeah. So you and I have known each other for a very long time.
Yeah.
And one of the first things we bonded over was television. We're both
Yes.
big TV fans. And so I thought perfect for us. I found this like interesting list. It's like the top 5 TV shows according to IMDb fans.
Ooh, what
Yeah,
are
worldwide.
IMDb fans? Like fans of IMDb or fans on IMDb?
I think it's on like the rate people who rate. They probably
Okay.
did a survey or something.
Okay.
So top 5 shows in April. So I want to go over that list. But before we do that, is there anything that you're like streaming, watching religiously right now?
So I feel like it's hard to watch religiously because there's just not as many episodes as there once were.
Yeah.
So like I'll watch something religiously for like a week. No, move to the next,
Yeah.
religion. So just, but I'll say that I just finished Secret Millionaire on Netflix. I've gotten very into social deduction reality shows like traders
Oh,
style shows. So this is Netflix's answer to the traders, and it's very immersive. I've also, in recent years, I think this will surprise you, I've gotten really into the Gordon Ramsay cinematic universe, which is what I call it. I don't know if other people call it that.
that's yeah, shocking.
but, but like, yeah, I got into Gordon Ramsay a few years ago, very late to the party, and I was like, oh, and now I understand why people
Is
like.
it true he's like lightened up over the years? Have you noticed that?
Well, so I didn't go back to watch
Oh,
old
okay.
stuff. So he does seem very light and accessible. So I'm like having a little bit of difficulty understanding why everyone's like, Gordon Ramsay's so mean. I'm like, he's like the nicest person ever. He's so warm and like such a good mentor. And like he just wants what's best for everyone. So like, I don't know if that's not how it was, 20 years ago. And
No, yeah, no. I mean, I never really watched much, but he was like a mean, angry screamer.
that's what I always thought, but that's not what I am experiencing. So I'm in the middle of Next Level Chef, waiting for MasterChef to start.
Okay.
But then more on brand are comedies.
Yes.
So I really like St. Dennis. I don't know if you
Oh,
watch it.
I have. Yes.
So tell me your thoughts because that's a ooh.
Yeah. I liked, I would say season 1. And then for some reason, the next season just didn't, I don't know, maybe it was trying too hard. I think I really loved like the quirky characters in the beginning. And I don't know, it didn't keep me. But I was very excited to watch it because it's very similar to a show I loved called Superstore. Did you ever watch
Yeah.
Superstore?
I've watched it here and there. It's the same creator.
Yeah, same creator, same vibe. That show I can watch till I die. Like it is so I'll laugh out loud funny because I think we all experience it. Those people in those types of like Target stores.
Yeah.
But no, St. Dennis was fun, and I can see why you like it.
Yeah. And then I also really like Stumble,
Oh, the cheerleader
the
one?
cheerleader
Okay.
show. I feel like it's probably not going to get renewed. I don't know if they have announced or not announced yet if it's coming back, but I saw that it was like very unlikely. But it is so silly. There's so many hidden jokes. And like it just feels to me like it's been a few years since there's a comedy that like makes me really laugh in the way that the comedies of our youth, I guess. What a
Yeah.
terrible thing to say, but like our youth have.
I miss our multicams.
I miss multicams. So I do still watch Friends every day.
Oh,
So like
great.
what do I watch religiously? Like I watch Friends religiously. I
I can't
can't.
remember if I told you. I remember telling some because we have a few of our friends from back in the day. We're really big Friends people. So I think I told some of them. I don't remember if I told you, but I had to stop watching Friends for at least a year after Matthew Perry died. I just couldn't. It was too sad. But I've
Yeah.
I've now resumed.
Yeah. I took a short break, my first break of we were on a break. My first break from Friends
Yeah.
after my daughter was born, which was around when Matthew Perry
Hmm.
died, I think. I don't know if I put those two together, but I was just like not in a place to like fall asleep watching TV and I wanted to like get back in and like really commit. But I started a few months ago watching again and like that's core.
So Lisa Kudrow, our dear friend,
Or dear
um, she has the comeback show that's back. So
yeah.
she's doing all this press. She's everywhere, and she's been talking. Everyone asks her about Friends, and she said that she now is for the first time like watching it start to finish. Like every night before she goes to bed, she watches an episode, which I thought was cool.
That is really cool. Yeah, I've heard somewhere that like Courtney Cox has never seen an episode of Friends. And like
Oh,
people will quote things at her and she's just like, I have no idea what you're referring to. Like you're talking about a sentence I said in like 1995. Like it's
right.
not like
It was so long ago. I know it's
so
crazy. I still think of myself as younger than them because we started watching when we were like high school or younger.
I know. But yeah. And then the last thing that I watched, which I'm curious if you're watching it, is that like I've settled into being the sort of person who watches SNL again. Like
Oh,
on Saturday nights, just like, oh, boringly lame, but whatever. I have a toddler.
you're right.
Um, and like it's really gotten to quite a few ebbs. Um,
Hmm.
but I feel like it's finally finding its like flow and I'm enjoying it. So I'm curious like if you check it out because I know you've loved SNL.
Yes.
Um,
So I don't watch it like live on Saturday night, but I definitely will watch. They do a great job of like showing all the clips and everything. Like they'll put it all on Instagram and on YouTube, so it's really easy. So I do usually get those all the next day, and I'll watch those. It's good. Yeah, people talk about how like SNL, at least a few years ago, they'd be like, "Oh, it was so good back in the day," but it's still it's still funny. It's still relevant, and yeah.
yeah, still makes me not every sketch, not
No.
every week, but like there are some sketches that have me on the floor and
Yes.
it's worth it. Like it's worth the investment to have like that 3 minutes of laughter. But what are you watching?
Yes. So, well, you mentioned St. Dennis and what was the cheerleader one called again?
Stumble.
Stumble.
Yeah.
Those are both Peacock shows, right? Or NBC, so they're on Peacock,
Yeah.
I think.
Hmm.
So I just realized Peacock. I don't, it's not like one of the ones that I think of as like a big streamer. You think Netflix, HBO, whatever. They had three. So I'm really, I don't know if you know this. I'm really into like thrillers. I love things that like keep me on the edge of my seat, like mysterious, especially those like mini series, 8 episodes.
Hmm.
What happened? I love those. Peacock apparently did three of them in the last like 3 years, and I like binged all three in like 2 weekends. The other weird thing, it made me think that they had like a deal with this actor. His name is Jake Lacey. I don't know if he was on
I
The White
love Jake
Lotus.
Lacy.
Yeah.
He was in Better With You, a sitcom that came out in like
Oh.
2011.
Oh, it's hard to think about him as like a comedy person because he's done all these like creepy things.
I think I'm like the only person who cares about that show, but I I maintain it was like it was on the same time as Traffic Light, I think.
Okay.
You watched Traffic Light.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like bonded over
Yeah.
that back in the day and like then they canceled it because no one has any compassion. So Better With You I think was like maybe the season before, season after, but it like fits into that like this could have been a show for me. And so I've always been like, when is that cast gonna like do more? And Jake
Uh,
Lacy and Joanna Garcia
uh-huh.
Swisher were in it. I think they played a married couple, if I'm remembering correctly, but I'm not sure I am. But literally, no one can fact check me because you cannot stream the show. I have tried. Um, but yeah, big fan of Jake Lacy.
Okay. So yeah, so so he did all three of these. So they must have had some arrangement with him. But so one of them was All Her Fault.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Not sure you'll like it as a mom because it's about a kid who goes missing.
Can't do it.
No, but that's not like actually the main. Well, that it happens. That all. I'm not ruining anything by saying that ends up working out, but it opens up other craziness. Not sure if you like that, but All Her Fault was really good. It takes place in Chicago, so that was another.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Then there was one called Apple Doesn't Fall or something with Annette Bening and Jake Lacy, and he plays like her daughter, and it's about her going missing and like what happened. And she's like a mom of like adult kids. And then there was the third one was based on a true story called Friend of the Family. And
Oh.
it's also maybe not as a parent you want to watch it, but it's about this like guy who he has a family, he makes friends with another family in like the 70s in Idaho and ends up kidnapping and abusing one of the daughters.
Ooh,
I
scary.
know. And it's based on a true story. So then there's an accompanying documentary, and it was fascinating to watch the scripted and then the documentary. And I will say, you know how they say that you do like something based on a true story and you change facts, and it's not. It was like they hit everything. But then I just finished another. And speaking of comedies, it's more of a dark comedy. Are you familiar with Search Party? It came out in like 2016.
I am familiar with it. I never watched it, but it was on in the background in my office when I was doing product placement. So I've
Okay,
been exposed to Search
to Search Party.
Party.
So it's on, and I think it started on TBS, but it's on
Yeah.
Netflix now. It's 5 seasons, and the first three were incredible. Funny, dark. I was like, you know, when you're just like laugh out loud funny, it's like, okay, there's something here. And then season 4 took this turn into like horror comedy. So not dark
Oh,
comedy, but like horror, which I'm not a fan of horror. And somehow I forced myself to watch season 4, like hoping season 5 would like maybe take a step back. No, season 5 then went to like apocalyptic craziness. So I actually stopped after episode 1 of season 5, and I asked AI, I was like, what happened with this show? Like, are people upset that it took such a turn? And it validated me. It was like, oh my God, people cannot believe what happened in season 4 and 5. Like some like dedicated fans loved it, but a lot of people were like, what the hell
oh my God. I
happened?
don't I don't remember that, but I'm wondering if like they just stopped using our products once they went like horror apocalypse.
Maybe.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I was thinking about you mentioned Peacock, and in a previous episode of It's Gonna Be Fine, you
Yes.
talked about Kaylee Cuoco.
Yes.
Have you seen Based on a True Story?
No.
Okay, well, as soon as we're done with this,
Is that her?
so yeah, it's Kaylee Cuoco and Chris Messina. Maybe
Mm.
I'm pronouncing that right. In a like comedy thriller about people who create a true crime podcast with a serial killer. Like
Oh,
they figure out who the serial killer is, and
this is right up my alley.
they create a podcast like talking to him about his serial killing.
Wait,
It's
tell me the name again.
based on a true story.
Based on a true story. Okay. Did you see her show Flight Attendant?
I did.
Is it like that?
No,
Okay.
it's like definitely comedic in tone, but like with murder mystery into like obviously you know who the killer is because like he's on the podcast, but like there's still like the thriller tension of like what's gonna happen, and I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to. It's like a suspenseful comedy. It's more like it's Peacock's answer to Only Murders in the Building. But what I like about it is that like specifically with Kaylee Cuoco, because I was listening to you talk about that show she was on
What a
MGM Plus
mess.
or whatever, and you were like, oh, maybe she's trying drama, and I was like, well, like she did good in drama with Flight Attendant, but this show like marries her comedic timing with her ability to be really
Yeah.
dramatic with like satire and what it means to like get so invested into true crime. So yeah,
Okay.
I was like listening to podcasts, like screaming into the street, like Monty, watch this. And now you're like, I like Peacock. Yeah, okay, great.
Perfect. Yeah. I don't know. Peacock came out of nowhere. They've got these like quality shows. Now, I think Kaylee Cuoco is phenomenal. Like
Yeah,
as an actress, that show, I don't know if you saw it.
I
Can't
did not.
remember what it was called. The quality of that show was so rough and it was just over the top. We're not going to get into it, but I
No.
will give her another shot there. I don't blame her for that. I blame
I know, I was like, "You seem like you wanna watch her do
yes.
something good, so here's the good." But the other show that I'm watching on the dark side, I've been taking, like, a it's hard for me in recent years to watch dark shows, not just because of, like, motherhood,
Sure.
but just, like, life has gotten hard. It's gonna
Mhm.
be fine, but, like, life has gotten hard, and so I, like, find that when I watch shows that are, like, too difficult, it, like, I I just can't, it doesn't help me unwind. But Paradise is
Yes.
a show that I like. I can't watch, I can't binge it. I have to like watch one episode at a time, but it is really masterful storytelling. I never watched Lost, but I
Right.
imagine that like this is how people who watched Lost felt in the
Okay.
beginning. Like,
I saw the first season and I liked it and I totally forgot about the second season, but someone at work just told me about it and so I it's on my list to watch. And apparently season 3, one of my favorite actresses is going to be guest starring on it, Juliana Margulies.
oh,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know who she's gonna play, but she fits right into the world. I am like, that is, I don't know what the character is, but that is good casting.
Yeah. I'm
Awesome. So
excited for
what
that.
are the top five? Probably
Yes.
none of the shows we talked about.
So yeah, number 5 is ugh, Euphoria.
Not interested. Pass.
Same. And the reason is because two things. One, well, I don't watch high school stuff. Can't watch high school stuff because doesn't it
Interesting.
take place in high school? Like it's young
It
adults.
it does, but I want to tell me more that you don't watch
Yeah,
high school stuff.
for two reasons. One is that I
No.
can't watch high school things because it reminds me of the high school experiences I did not have, which brings
Uh,
up trauma. So I
got it.
try not to put myself in that situation, even though I'm done the healing journey for the most part and I'm
Yeah,
better,
but like,
but
why do you have to do it the same way that like
exactly.
I won't watch some of these
Right.
shows that I'm like,
It's
I
just
just
not
don't, it
worth
doesn't,
it.
yeah.
And then the second reason is because it just reminds me how old I am. Like I'm not a teenager anymore. And like that can be depressing.
That's fair.
So I try not to watch. And then I'll just get annoyed with like the drama these people think are actual. It's like you're 12. Like just wait.
I actually do love a good teen drama.
Oh,
School Spirits on Paramount Plus, which is also like an old people streaming service, but they've got this high school
it
show.
is.
I haven't watched the latest season, but I love that show.
Okay.
And like Full Summer, like I like the Pretty Little Liars style of high school show. Like if I'm gonna, I think that's where like I can get my like thriller, but like not too dark because like at the end of the day, like they are just 15 and it's all gonna be like it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But Euphoria, like for me, the like I've never watched a show, but like it's a lot of sex and drugs, and from what I understand, it's like a little bit gratuitous, and like that's fine. I'm happy for people to have that outlet, but like I feel like I get my kicks in a different way.
Yeah. And I think it's probably popular now because didn't it like go away for a long time and now they just came out with season 3 and it's starring the people who like became big on the show who are now huge stars. But like Zendaya,
Yeah,
Jacob Elordi, Sydney Sweeney, who I had no idea
yeah,
was on Euphoria, but apparently she
yeah.
was. So I think they're all part of it now, which is probably why everyone's like, oh. Okay, I've never even heard of this show. Number 4, Invincible.
Invincible. That it rings a bell for me, but maybe it's just because like I've heard the word invincible before.
When 17-year-old Mark Grayson inherits superpowers, he becomes the superhero Invincible. So it's a superhero thing.
Is it an adult animated on Prime? Is that the right one?
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah. Season 4 streaming on Prime
Again, like
Video.
happy for this kind of show to exist.
Not for us. Yeah.
I'm never gonna be the kind of person into an adult animated superhero movie, and I have made peace with that. And if you are that person,
I'm the same.
love you.
Okay. This is one. I also haven't watched this, but I remember season 1. Now there's season 2. Beef.
I tried Beef.
Okay.
Um, it was
You became a vegetarian.
I became a vegetarian. I didn't watch the whole first episode, and I usually do try to give a show like more time. I don't know if it was like the time I was in my life or whatever, but it was like I like my comedies funny and
Yeah.
light.
Not
And I
dark.
think there is, yeah, if it's gonna be a dark comedy, like it has to be really, really dark so that it's like so dark it's funny.
Hmm.
Not like slice of life dark. And I felt with Beef that it was just like from the few minutes I watched, I was just like, oh, like life is hard enough. Like I don't have
Right.
to watch these people have a hard time with it. I could see from watching it that like there is an audience for it. And like from what I understand, like the cultural representation is like really interesting and nice, and
Hmm.
I'm always like, interested in that and supporting that. But I just, for me, like I watch TV to escape or
Right.
to learn something about myself, and not to like be immersed in other people's beef.
Yes. And apparently, like, it's the second season, but it has nothing to do with the first season. Of what I've heard it's like completely different story. Like Ali Wong, I don't even think is in it, or is she?
I have no idea.
Okay,
Oh,
that's what I've heard.
that's a trend. I thought that trend went away, but I guess it didn't.
Okay, so we're over 3 so
Okay.
far. Number two is one of actually my favorites. I should have mentioned that I'm watching it. I'm curious if you are. The Pit.
I love The Pit. However, I will say that I am watching it. I'm still in season one, and I can watch like one episode a month because
Yes, it's
I don't want to
intense.
like get too deep into it. I'm like, whatever. But as you might know, like my family and my husband's family had a lot of medical trauma for a couple of years, and the first few episodes have some
Similarity, yeah.
similarities to that specific medical trauma. So we were like watching it together and just sort of like, I need a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really, really enjoy it. It's like masterful television, masterful acting. And I'm like,
It's a lot.
I can, sometimes I can watch like two episodes in a week. But like, because also we're watching it together, we both have to be in a mental state where it's not bringing something up and not tired. But what's hard about The Pit, then I'm gonna let you talk. What's hard about The Pit for me is that like I do a lot of work in like Jewish representation in TV, and like The Pit, I haven't gotten to the episodes where that happens yet, but like
Oh, it happens.
The Pit is like very great at that, and like people will talk to me and be like, "Oh, like what do you think of The Pit?" I'm like, "Love The Pit." Not up to that episode. No spoilers, please. But like it's been spoiled. But like I don't know. Some people just talk to me about it anyway, even if I say like I'm not up to it. No spoilers, please. Be like, but, and I'm like, okay, like I hear you. Happy to see Jewish characters who are proud and
Hmm.
excited, and I have so much anticipation about it. But yeah, curious about your thoughts on it.
So it's so funny you say that. So when I first started watching The Pit, I started watching it after season one had ended. So I was able to binge, which was good because I could not stop. So I totally know what you mean though, because I was watching it with two friends and one of them could not watch. She didn't even have like the same stuff you're talking about where it like resonated, but she was just like, this is too intense. Like I'm so anxious just watching this show. So she couldn't do it. But I was like hooked. So I watched like the first season right away. And then the second season was hard because I had to wait a week. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Is it 2014? Like, come on. Why aren't we just lining up the episodes? But no, it's great quality. You fall in love with a lot of the characters, and even the ones you don't like very much, you still like don't mind them. Like there's some where I'm like, whatever, they're kind of annoying, but like in an engaging way. Like whenever, and the one thing, the reason I know I loved it so much is because whenever an episode ends, I'm like, what? It's over? Like it goes by so fast.
Yes, I feel that also.
Yeah. So I don't know how they do it, but it's someone found gold with that one, and there's definitely going to be another season. So,
Yeah,
yay!
I'm excited. I'm hopeful that like I will catch up, and maybe like by the time season three comes out, I'll be like a little bit more healed,
I
or
mean, I'm
maybe they'll
jealous of
stop
you that
pulling
yeah, there's always going to be
storytelling.
shows for you to watch if you go this slowly. So you'll be fine.
And the pit's like another like 24 episode or something order, right? Like it's when we were talking earlier about like it's 8 episodes, and then
Yeah,
like you have to move on to the next religion. Like the pit,
I think it's
like
15 because they do like it's each hour.
15. Okay, that's still like a decent.
That's a lot,
That's a
more
that's
than
a
most these days.
Yeah. 30 episodes of television in 2 seasons is sometimes like an entire series.
Yeah.
So very happy, and I would be really happy if that model is something that like came back.
The other thing about the pit that multiple people have said to me, and I agree too, it makes you. I'm not going to speak for you. It makes me want to be a doctor. I just respect the
Interesting.
profession, which is funny because my dad's a doctor and I've never wanted to be a doctor
Yeah.
just based on that. Watching this, I'm like, oh, I don't know. I feel like you can do so much good if you do it the right way.
You don't feel like you'd get like super overwhelmed and tired? Like
No, I'm
what they
sure.
deal with in 1 hour is like a
Well, I
lifetime.
remind myself it's a TV show and not real, but just not even maybe working in the emergency room. But I think something for me about the show, this is what it is. We've talked about a little bit of trauma today. Like I talked
Yeah.
about high school trauma. Another kind of trauma of mine is like, I don't think I ever fully felt cared for as
Mm.
an adult or as a kid coming up. Like there's a number of reasons for it. I come from a big family, like no one had enough attention. So whenever I see people really caring about someone else who's like a stranger, like so a doctor for a patient, if they do it the right way, I think that really strikes me.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
really beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, and I feel like you can hopefully maybe some of how you can heal from that is like by having these parasocial relationships with these doctors. And
Yeah.
like maybe that's why for you, like you can binge it because you're seeing the kindness and the good, not the like patient on the table
Right.
dying.
Right. Right. Right.
Um, oh, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, that was nice.
it was nice. I'm gonna be a hug.
Aw. Virtual hug. Okay, and number one, The Boys. I've heard about this show. It looks a
Oh.
little weird, but I've never watched it.
The Boys is fantastic.
Oh,
I
okay.
will say that it's fantastic, and I will also say that I only watched the first season.
Okay.
Uh, so I watched it like very not my genre, but I watched it when I was doing product placement. So I like
Mm,
had to we had to screen every show that we gave product to see if they used it or not. So I have watched a lot of TV. And one of the shows I gave product to was The Boys. I can't remember if they used anything, whatever. But I was like, oh, I really like this. And so I had shows that I would just like fast forward till they were like in a scene where conceivably my clients' products could be. Some shows I was like, I'm getting paid for this. I'm just gonna
right.
watch it. It's like I watched The Boys and it was really wonderful. And then I told my husband, like, you have to watch The Boys. Like, you like superheroes. I don't like superheroes. And like, I like it. So he watched the first season. And then we were like, okay, now let's watch the second season. And then like, we just kept not being in the mood at the same time. And then being like, okay, well, do you remember the first season? I was like, no. Do you? No. Do we have to rewatch the first season? He's like, I don't even know if I finished the first season. And then like, it just became another chore in our household of
We don't need that.
like can we remember what happened on the boys and like and we were just like oh what a list so like someday I imagine I will go back that would be a good show to revisit
Yeah.
if you need a show I really loved it and I did like really watch the first season intensely I see why it's there but
Okay. No,
um
that's good because I also don't like superhero stuff. So if you liked it, that's positive. But you made a really interesting point, which is something I struggle with. And sometimes I'm like, am I losing it? Like, is there something wrong with me? But I'm glad. Sounds like no. I could never remember what happens in like previous seasons of shows. Like you mentioned Paradise.
yeah
When someone at work brought it up, I was like, I definitely watched it. I think it was about an underground city. Like I had to go back and like look and be like, oh right, right, okay, season two. Now I can like,
Well, so I feel like that's because we watch so many more shows. Like we used to watch like 8 shows. Be like, what are you watching of the 15 shows that are on TV? And you'd be like, I'm watching half of them, right? And
right.
like that was being like well versed in TV and you watched them from September to May and like
Mm-hmm.
you're invested every week and you had to remember every week and like it was fine. And then in the summer you watch reruns and like life was
Yeah.
beautiful. And then it became like hundreds of shows for shorter periods of time and you go from one to the next and you don't talk to anyone about it because you're on your schedule right like I'm on season 1 of the boys like you're in season 0 most people are in season 6 or 5 or
Right.
whatever number it is and
Yeah.
there's a spin-off and a comic like and so you can't have conversations with people so you forget like you're not having that rhythm that's why I think like the pit is interesting in that like it does give you like
Mm-hmm.
a week to talk to people about it if you needed to or if you wanted to the other thing that's interesting about this list that I want to point out
Mm-hmm.
is that it's an IMDb list. IMDb is owned by Amazon, and I think it's interesting that
Oh,
2 of the shows are Amazon shows when Amazon does not actually have that many viewers. So I'm
great
wondering, like,
point.
are the people who are watching Amazon being fed into IMDb to like and rate shows, and that's where they're getting the data? Because like, I'm not gonna like watch something on Peacock and then be like, "This was so excellent. Let me pull out my phone, go onto IMDb, rate it." But like if you're in the Amazon ecosystem, I mean, is it
Mm-hmm.
easier to do that? Because I just find it a little weird.
You nailed it. Speaking of TV, I have a love-hate relationship with legal dramas.
Yes.
Some of them are like, whatever, like they're just procedurals and it's just more of the same. But then there are every now and then one comes along where you're like, that was amazing. So two that come to mind, one from a long time ago, The Practice,
Mhm.
which I've been rewatching, as you know.
Yes.
And then there was one, did you ever watch The Good Wife?
I did not, but I watched the spin-off,
Oh, The Good Fight.
The Good Fight, again for work, but it was interesting.
I loved The Good Wife. The word that comes to mind when I think of it is quality. It was just pure, like amazing writing. Juliana Margulies,
Hmm.
like can't go
Yeah.
wrong. now that I'm rewatching The Practice, it's so interesting to see like legal dramas from like 20 years ago or 25 years ago and how the things that they dealt with. This still exists today, but I'm curious to get your take on this. They always have these expert test witnesses, right? That give
Hmm.
expert testimony, which is essentially, I want them to, there's something about the case. A lot of time it's medical related, or maybe it's related to firearms or something. And they need someone to testify to make their case. But this person has nothing to do with the case. It's not like they were involved or anything. They find them and they pay them a fee to do this.
Hmm.
And I knew this was happening and it never really registered, but then I watched it and I was like, wait a minute. Because I think there was one episode of The Practice where they were like fight, like the guy was like, I don't really think I believe this, but how much is the fee? And he's like $10,000, and he's like, all right, I'll do it. I'm like, what? You can't. Like, how's that okay? How does our justice system like allow this? So I was like, why? Wait a minute. How come we allow this testimony that you get paid for? It just feels very biased. And I know that both sides can do it. So I guess it's like who's better, but that feels very non-judicious.
I guess my question for you is like, experts, you're watching this on The Practice, you're
Yeah,
like, oh, this is really shady. Like, what specifically is bothering you about it that you're like, I need to dig into this? Like,
yeah,
where's it hurting you? Because it hurts. I'm curious for you where it is.
yeah, yeah. I think it's kind of what like it's like about manipulation and how you can manipulate anything. But I think the biggest thing is that the impact it could have. Like we're talking about sometimes someone's life or death here if they're on trial, especially in these shows, which is usually murder trials. So there's a lot at stake here, right? They might go
Yeah.
away forever. And to be able to try to convict someone by getting paid or by paying a witness to say what you want them to say, it feels icky.
It is icky.
Yeah.
It is icky. I don't know if like I should share this publicly, but I will. Whatever, probably no consequences. But I remember I was called in for jury duty, and the judge had like gone through like the questions with everyone, and one of the questions she had asked everyone was like, "Do you have any biases that
Mm-hmm.
could make you not so that could make you not impartial?" And she didn't ask me that question
Oh,
when she was like going through me. And I was like, so we get to the end of my questions. And I was like, oh, but I have like a really big bias. So I was like, Your Honor, excuse me, you didn't ask me about my biases. She goes, well, do you have any? Like frustrated. Like like and I was like, well, yeah, like I worked for I interned at the Innocence Project. Like I have seen behind the curtain of the criminal justice system, and I'm not going to put someone in prison. I was like, I'm just not, because
right.
there's like too good of a chance. I was like, they could be guilty, they could not, but I'm not. I don't want to have anything to do with being wrong.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, are you saying you don't believe in the criminal justice system? And I will never forget this for as long as I live, because like I think it was the rudest thing, and that's why I'm like a little nervous to say it publicly, because like, please don't hold it against me, but whatever, this is my truth. I said, like, I believe that the criminal justice system exists. I don't believe it works. And I was like, felt like so mouthy, because like I wanted to like not lie under oath. Like, do I believe in it?
Right,
Like,
right,
yeah, like
right,
I'm participating in it. Like, there is a criminal justice system, but like I don't have faith in it. Like, what are
right,
you specifically asking? And I was like, this is like when we're like Talmud. Like, what's the meaning? What's the word you're gonna ask? Like, brain came out like, I don't want to be caught in a lie.
right.
Like, I'm not perjuring myself. We're here. Like, pinch me. It's real.
Yeah.
But I obviously did not get selected for the jury. The defense attorney like was super interested.
We would like to keep this juror because we just do.
Yeah, she's like, I don't have a problem with keeping her. And the prosecutor was like, no.
I think you said that so eloquently, though. Like and I think a lot of people hold that view. We have a criminal justice system. It doesn't really work that
It doesn't.
well, and I
It
think people
doesn't.
know that.
Once you kind of see behind the curtain, you can see all the things that are like also the way that they do jury selection. Like they're picking the people. There's a, what was that show where it was like about the guy who could read the jurors' faces? This was a show called Bull, which is based, it's inspired by the early career of Dr. Phil. But Bull was a procedural on CBS about a trial consultant who was hired by lawyers to watch jury selection and give them insight into who to pick who would be favorable. And like again, another product placement show that I had to watch. I don't think we got any placements, but maybe we did. I don't remember. But the I fast forwarded a lot through this one. No offense to the creators, just not my vibe. But when I did watch it, like he has a control room set up like near the courthouse. I don't know how real this is, but inspired by Dr. Phil, so maybe real. Um, and like he would have like videos on everyone in the jury selection. Big that guy twitched his eyebrows when you said the assailant was black. Like he's racist. And like that woman like is chewing gum in a way that indicates that she has grandchildren. Like it's like really like just it was just like so random. It was like the mentalist before jury selection. I don't know if this is a real thing, like, but even if there's not consultants, like the lawyers still know what they're looking for. They're still picking people who they think are favorable.
So should it just be randomized, do you think? Like jury selection, or is that too risky?
What an interesting idea. What would be risky about it?
Well, that people might have crazy biases. And you're only dealing with 12 people. Like if it was a much larger sample set, maybe the randomization would not be as risky, but with such a small sample, if you randomize it and just, send it out, you 12 are on the jury without doing any vetting, that could be risky.
Yeah, and I guess like what's the point of jury is a jury of your peers, and
Mm,
I wonder like is that like a very loose definition of peers?
right.
Um,
It's like a peer equals a citizen. Like,
right, like is it a citizen? Is it
yeah,
someone who comes from like a similar life circumstance? Like
right.
it was the intention to have a little bit of bias. Like
Hmm.
maybe the intention was to be like to have people who could maybe get it.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I think there's a lot that's disturbing.
a lot. I think you know this, but the only reason I know of the Innocence Project is because of you,
Oh,
because you
really?
shared it. Yes, and I still get their texts and emails, and every time I get one, I'm like, Cindy.
Oh, that's wow. Like so this is good to know that like you could spread good
Yes, just by doing
mm,
your thing.
just by doing your
And
thing.
it honestly, like, I mean, it's phenomenal if you think about it. I mean, I don't think there's tons of crazy, terrible things out in the world, but to be convicted of a crime you did not commit,
Yeah.
can only imagine how, like, it just seems like so just awful.
It's awful and it's so scary to like think.
Yeah, right, because it could happen to anyone.
It changes the way you think about like
Yeah.
what like I've met people who have done literally nothing other than walk down the street and like look like someone else, and there
Yes.
was nothing tying them to the crime whatsoever. One guy was wearing a red Gap sweatshirt, and like we all had that red Gap sweatshirt,
Yeah.
like question for you: would you accept money to be an expert, like if there was some kind of expertise you could lend to
Yeah.
the trial and someone was like, this is I want you to do it, what would it
Mm-hmm.
be for you?
Um, that's a great question. I think I would only if I fully believed in. I wouldn't do it unless I fully believed in what I was saying. And I think what struck me about the show was like this guy was on the fence, and then the money like pushed him over the edge, which I didn't like. But I would hope that I would never even entertain it if I didn't fully believe it. I wouldn't even know like what the fees would be. So I think I'd just be like, I guess just pay me standard rate. Like, I don't know. Um, or I, I don't know. I think here's the thing. Because I think there are people that have businesses, like they have LLCs and they are expert in whatever. And so lawyers find them. So if it's your business, I can, I guess, understand it more. If I was just like a one off expert, I don't know that I would actually charge a fee. Like if they
Yeah,
just needed my help and I really believed in it and it's not like I did it all the time,
yeah,
I think hopefully I would just be like, I want to help.
yeah. I think like for me, when I ask myself the question, it's sort of like, are you? It depends what they're asking. Are they going to ask me to direct my expertise towards a certain conclusion, or are they going to say like, what can you tell us
Yeah.
about this? And then I could just share that like if I knew a lot about fingernails, right? Like
Right.
if the question is, do fingernails go down the drain sometimes? Like I don't right like if that was the question,
Yeah.
then I would say like yes, but I think I would try to fall short of saying like yes, and therefore like could be that this person was, just sewers away. So like I don't know what I feel like an ethical lawyer and an ethical expert keep it to what the expertise is without coloring it. And I'm sure on TV they like
Sure.
add this drama and the stakes,
Yeah.
but
Speaking, so we were talking about TV. Whenever I think of TV these days, I think of other platforms like social media because it all happened. Like I was saying, even SNL, I watched like them on Instagram now with like the different clips. It was reminding me of this other article that I read that I was curious because you and I both have parents who are retired. I think mine's
Ish.
yeah, ish. One, at least one is retired. Sort of.
My
Whatever.
my dad will hopefully be unretired when his health gets better.
Okay, so but they're of the age of retirement, and I saw this article because, and I've talked about social media on this show, as you know, and we always think about social media affecting children, affecting kids, and apparently another population that's struggling with social media addiction, retirees. And I was like, it makes so much sense. Like they have the capability to be on social media. They don't have much to do if they're not keeping their days full. And it was written by actually two people. I think it was in the Wall Street Journal. It was written by two people who I think are married, and they're both
Mm.
struggling with it. And so it wasn't like an article about them. They just were basically sharing their experiences. And the good thing is, it wasn't like gloom and doom. They basically were like, we know that this is a problem, and here's how it's affecting our lives, and we really need to get ahead of it. But it was just very eye opening to me to be like, wow, like there's a whole other population that's struggling with this. And I don't think people think about it because we don't think of older people using technology and social media. That's not the case anymore. Like when Facebook went live in like 2008 or whatever for non-college people, like those people were all over it and they still
Hmm.
love it. And I was thinking too, like sometimes I'll see like reels or things on Instagram, and sometimes you see the comments and it's like older people who are just because like that's how they spend their time. That was eye opening. And I'm curious, like, do we have to focus on this too now? It's not just about protecting our kids, but it's protecting, like, I think from a mental health perspective, it's more maybe affecting kids, but it's making retirees have less of maybe a joyful life because they're just spending it online.
I'm gonna push back on the not affecting mental health wise. I think I've I've seen a lot of different people engage with social media, from a lot of different age brackets in my life, and like, and myself included. I really don't like social media. And I hate that I use it. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like if you hate that you use something, you should stop using it. But like, I can't stop using it because it's how the world operates and how
Yeah.
my businesses operate and whatever. But also, like, is that just an excuse? Like, so there's like a lot to unpack there. But I think it can be harmful. It can suck people into rabbit holes. It can create parasocial relationships. It can expose people to harmful ideas. I think
Scams.
I've scams for sure. Um, Social media and finding community in social media instead of with real people, and then like reinforcing your beliefs and like watching videos and liking posts and just like the algorithm like changing what you believe, which I
Mm-hmm.
think like we can all sort of relate to. Like you feel one thing and then suddenly the algorithm like makes you feel it 100 times more.
It's so easy to believe it. It's right in front of your face. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think for older people, the same thing that's happening to younger people with like certain types of beliefs, but also like what they should look like. And you were talking about looks maxing recently,
Yes.
like all of that, right? Like, avid listener.
Love it.
But like, for older people, I think if they can fall into rabbit holes, politically,
Mm-hmm.
or
They
um,
definitely are impressionable. I mean, we all
I
are.
mean, we're all impressionable,
Yeah.
right? So we're all impressionable, and then it isolates. I think it can turn you to believe things you didn't necessarily believe before. It could, the parasocial relationships part, I think, is something that I think it's happening to everyone
Yeah.
regardless of age. I don't think age
It was like a good wake up call
matters.
to see, like, because I never think of that, but it was very much like, oh no, this could be affecting everybody. And
Yeah.
speaking of the looks maxing thing, my reaction to looks maxing was sadness. Like, it was just so sad. And that's kind of the reaction I had to this one too, of just like people still struggling at, the retirement age with some of these things.
Does it make you sad because you're like, are we still going to be struggling with this when we hit retirement age, or like was there a different sadness there?
Um, there's probably a little bit of that, of like, what does this mean for us? But I think mostly it's just sadness for them that they have reached this age and they don't have as much time left as younger people. And this is how they're spending their time. That's kind of not even, as we talked about, maybe their decision. They're just sort of like sucked into it. All your years should be your own, but like, especially those, like
Yeah, like
it's,
you've worked your whole life to like travel and to feel good, but if you think about it, like your social ties weaken,
Yeah.
and and I keep thinking about this. We're talking about social media is bad, but you sent me a reel, I think, that on social media, and now we're talking about it's good.
It's a
But it was,
necessary evil
I think it was like an AI version of Friends where like they're just sitting in Central Park
on their phones.
texting on their
Yeah.
phones. And have not stopped thinking about it since you sent it to me. It's like it like pops into my head on a constant basis. And I'm like, there's so much to unpack. I think like when we picture growing old and retirement, we picture like going on vacations and
Hmm.
golfing or being with your family or like with your grandkids or like even just like reading the books you never read in the hospital bed. And like instead, we're having the Central Perk friends texting moment. Like that too has been replaced by phones. Like I don't think it's an age.
Yeah.
I think people of every age are struggling. And for me, what happens when we call it a youth problem is like that's the easiest one for us to solve because
Right.
we're not in it, right? Like we can say like, let's solve it for them because then I don't have to think about my own habits. And also like there's a desire to protect children from our own mistakes or our own bad habits. But I think like those are the things that have been coming up for me. Like we're so tied to our phones, we think it's a young person's problem, and it is just an everyone's problem.
And if, I mean, you look at the laws that either they've put in place in other countries or that they're trying to put in place in the US, they're always about children. Like you said, like we just want to protect them, but it's affecting all of us.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's one other topic that I wanted to get your opinion on. It's kind of related to retirees a little bit because we think about, taking care of yourself and health and everything. And there's another couple stats that I saw. And you and I both have had our own health journeys too. So maybe this is relevant to us too. But apparently, so we talked about our criminal justice system, our healthcare system, not doing that great either
No.
at all. So many problems. But there were two stats that I saw recently. Let me just get them here. Okay, and they're specifically about rheumatologists. So that's arthritis and other things. I think they see, but like anti inflammation and autoimmune disease, things like that. So the demand for dermatology. This is according to the American College of Rheumatology Workforce Study. The demand for rheumatologists is going to outpace supply by 102% by the next decade.
I have no words.
And get this, this is from the American College of Rheumatology study. 72% of the nation's counties, 72% of the nation's counties don't have an active rheumatologist practicing in that county.
Uh, I,
With
I
how
just
common something like arthritis is, so it brings up all sorts of, it's scary, right, to
it's
think about.
scary. Yeah.
What I think about is like, okay, what makes someone decide what specialty to be? And is there a way, is it like a supply and demand thing where like, because it all starts at the schools and how you get educated in the specialties and the residencies and the fellowships and from what I know about it. But like, does the, American College of Rheumatology have to like do some campaign with like the universities
Like
to,
PR work,
yeah,
like
to like
become a
incentivize people
rheumatologist.
to study that? And then do they have to partner with the hospitals to increase salaries for rheumatologists? But the thing is, it's not just rheumatologists. There's so many specialties that have what I would maybe call severe structural shortages. So, rheumatology, primary care, which maybe you don't think of a specialty, but you do need primary care physicians and just less
Sure.
and less. And I really think a lot of it probably comes down to money. The more specific and targeted the specialty and unique, the higher you can charge for those sort of procedures. So, people probably are following the money. Rheumatology and then geriatrics is apparently not the most popular. And then there's other ones that are growing, but I would kind of call them growing but strained. So like they're growing, but not to the pace that they need to based on people's needs. Neurology,
Mm.
endocrinology, which is important to me, OBGYNs, cardiology, and radiology. So I think when it comes to like rheumatologists, like people wait months and months and months and months to see a
Mhm.
doctor if it's not in your county. And a county is not like a small county's like a big area. So like
Yes.
you have to travel. It's like how do we balance it out? I don't even know.
I mean, for me, the biggest question that comes to mind is like, how much is health insurance that falls for this? Like, what? Because there's, there's salaries, but also what is insurance willing to cover? I had like a really interesting conversation with my allergist. Hopefully, if he's listening, hi, Dr. Epstein. I'm not gonna be
We love
mad
you.
about this. Saved my life. He is the greatest doctor. Really,
We
really
can do a
saved my
whole
life.
show on
We could do a
important
show.
relationships with doctors because I have a lot to
Yes.
say, but
Oh
yes.
my God. Yes. But he was saying something about like one of the insurance companies like didn't want to cover the serums and the allergy shots. They were open to covering the cost of the injector, or what's it called? The syringe.
Syringe, yeah.
Syringe. But not the stuff inside of it.
Okay.
And so
What's the point of
he
the syringe if you
What's
can't
the
get the
point? So
stuff
like,
from
yeah, so he's
inside?
like I'm not just gonna be like injecting people with air. He ended up having to, from what I understand, like stop taking that insurance policy because like it was not gonna, patients were not getting that covered. They're not gonna pay out of pocket. It's a ton of money, but he's not getting reimbursed for the cost. Like it just the math wasn't there to do his job. And I imagine that's the case with other specialties.
Hmm.
Another friend was telling me something about like a doctor wanted to like do a surgery and like, sorry, the surgery itself was covered, like the opening, but the insertion of the thing that she needed, or that the patient
Yeah.
needed, was not covered. So she was like, so like you just want to open and like, and then what happens?
Right.
Like, and then like you open, you say like, ta-da! That's the inside of the
So that's
body.
what
Then
that
you
looks
close
like.
it.
Right.
Like if you're not going to cover the thing that happens
Yeah.
once the like, most people can't afford to pay out of pocket.
No.
And most people won't pay out of pocket. And so like then you're gone into the specialty and you like literally can't help people if like you can't do the procedures that you're trained to do. And it's like at what point does it make sense? Like I think what's happening, insurance people?
I was
I
listening
don't
to, do you
know.
know Dr. Mike? He's like the hot
No.
doctor. Oh, you should look him up.
Okay.
He's great. He's one of those people that like really cares about being a doctor. So of course I feel very cared for watching it. We've talked about that.
I
Anyway,
love this.
I like him a lot.
This is a good theme.
And he so he does a podcast and I was listening to it, and he as a doctor is very critical of the insurance companies. And he basically said recently, he's like, the in order for anything to change, the insurance companies need to be incentivized to protect patients, because right now they're not. They're incentivized to make money. And one of the points he made is like, you go to a job, you get insurance, you leave that job in a year, you get new insurance, you go to another job, new insurance. The insurance company's like, you're going to leave us in a year anyway. Why do we care if you stay healthy? Like,
Yeah.
so there's got to be some sort of like incentivized thing there. But I'm really curious how you, and if we think about supply and demand, even if like today the American College of Rheumatology is like, we're gonna work with the hospitals, they're gonna get paid more, we're gonna do all these things. That's gonna take years till you
Hmm.
train up that next batch of rheumatologists. And then what other specialty are you stealing them from?
Yeah. Do you have a list of like who the top, like what are the most doctors that you could find?
The ones that are have a better pipeline is what
Yeah.
I would call it. So you're still going to probably need to wait at times depending on where you are, whatever. But these are the specialties that I guess you could say supply or demand is not outpacing supply. Dermatology, which I
That
was
makes
surprised by because I've heard people say like, "Oh yeah, I have an appointment in a year."
people will pay out of pocket for dermatology because
Yeah,
most of it's not covered anyway. And so, but
yeah.
we're very into our skin. You can charge a lot of money. Botox has a lot of uses.
Anesthesiology,
Mm,
and I think
yeah.
I said radiology was one of those growing but strained ones, but I think you could also make the argument it's potentially more growing. But then really a lot of it seems like the ones that are growing the most and have the most supply are the procedure heavy ones. So anything that where procedure is involved, whether it's in ENT or anesthesiology or other sorts of procedures, those seem to be growing more. I guess there's more money in those.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I had an issue with my ear a few months ago. Um, I had to. I think we talked about it when I was in like the middle of the saga. It's when I saw you, and I had to go to like this crazy
Yes.
uh, neurotologist, which was a specialty I had never heard of. And there were like two offices in New York City, which is a large place. And one of the neurologists was like, I only see patients with your government health insurance once a month, the first Fridays of the month.
Okay.
And I was like, it's like, are you a museum? You know, like where they do like, like free day for the
Free
poor
Friday
people, right? Like they
for
do.
those who live in the county.
Yeah. And so like I had called in like January, like I had called in whatever or early December, and they were like, you just missed the Friday, so you can come in like early January. And I was like what are we talking about here? I ended up going to I was able to see like someone else in his practice, but I ended up going to another doctor who had like an appointment a week earlier. But I was just like, this is bizarre that like there's not a lot of people who do this. Maybe not a lot of people need this kind
Yeah.
of a doctor. I just can't help think like if I wasn't in the most populated city in the country, like there's two medical offices in New York City. Who is available if I'm in Wyoming?
Right.
Like, do you have to go to a different state? What if that doctor doesn't take your insurance? Like what? I don't know how we get through. Like I don't know what the solution
Yeah.
could be. Would you be willing have I'll ask you a different question. Have
Yes.
you ever paid out of pocket to see the specialist that you wanted to see when something was not covered by insurance because you really wanted to see that doctor and get that appointment?
Yes, I have. I'm
Same.
lucky in the sense that I have a insurance plan where it's a PPO, so even if I go, it won't cover it fully, but I have like the out of network reimbursement, which is something, not as much as they would, but I usually can get some sort of reimbursement, which helps.
Yeah.
But as someone with a chronic condition, I very much would prioritize the care over. And again, it's a privileged thing to say, but yes, I would put that over other things. I
Yeah.
want to have a say in who I see.
I have I have also done that,
Yeah.
and even in times when I've been like very much struggling financially, just like,
Yeah.
well, what's the purpose of money if I'm not
Exactly.
gonna survive?
100%.
Like, what's gonna happen here? So like, I will sacrifice other things to do it, and obviously, being able to have enough means to sacrifice something else, as opposed to like, there's a level where it's just simply not doable at all. But it's been hard for me to wrap my head around like the premiums and the insurance and like then even still having to say like okay but like I need to see this doctor and the
Right.
only doctor who's going to do it is not part of my plan or just a minimal reimbursement or whatever. And or it has a concierge fee. Have you noticed that a lot of specialists, this came up in like
Yes.
my like this mom's chat that I'm a part of, that like a lot of specialists, even if they take insurance, are moving to concierge fees ranging from $40 to 1,000 something dollars so that they can stay in business. And like I am always on board with a concierge fee because it makes me feel like okay the doctor is going, like this doctor wants to help people, this doctor wants to not have to close their practice. And the only financially viable way for them to keep seeing patients is if we pay extra, and I hate that that's the system, but I never blame the doctor.
Are you talking about the ones where like regardless of how many times you go see them, you pay like a monthly fee, or it's just a one time?
I've only seen it as an annual
As it, oh, okay.
fee,
Maybe
but
that's what it is. But I think I saw something recently where it's the same sort of thing where it was almost like a subscription. You're subscribing like you do to Netflix to this doctor, and it's like so you and people were like, yeah, it's worth it because it means I'll get an appointment and it means that I'll get the doctor I want and the care I want. So yeah,
one thing that I've learned was spending an inordinate amount of time in that office, like just watching it, like having a front row seat to a doctor's office, is like there's a lot of work that's not patient work. Like there's calling the insurance companies and there's filling out the prior authorization forms and there's managing all of these things, and none of that is paid. And the staff is not like the staff's pay comes from what you when you go to a private practice, especially like you pay the doctor and the doctor then has to pay the staff and like the cleaning
overhead.
fee
Yeah,
and all of the overhead and like you want a clean doctor's office, like you need this like the butcher paper that goes on the tables, like there's a lot going on. And yeah, I don't know how much rheumatologists get reimbursed, but my guess is like probably not enough to keep them in business, and then so they go out or get bought out by private equity or what, and then the system is broken and sick people pay. And
Yeah.
if you have arthritis, like can you sit in a car ride for six
Right.
hours to get to your
Y-
steroid shot? Like
Right.
I don't know arthritis. That could be like not how it works,
Yeah, I
but
think it's that, or people get infusions. Like, yeah.
is it going to be fine?
I know. I'm about to ask you that. I think it's a fairly common disease
It is,
for
I
a lot of
think.
people, even at younger
Yeah.
ages.
Yeah, and they're like rheumatology encompasses like lupus and other things like that, and yeah, it's scary. What specialist would you become in this alternate universe
Right,
where
where
the
I'm a
kid inspires
doctor.
you to become a doctor? Like, what do you go to medical school for? And does so that's one, like, what do you want, are interested in? And two, question, how much of a factor would like the data like play in your decision? Like, would you be like, okay, well, there's no rheumatologist in Iowa,
Mm,
so
I'm gonna
setting up
be.
shop
I'm
there?
gonna change that. One, I'll
Yeah,
just see everyone in the country.
yeah.
Um, I would probably choose my specialty based on what I was most interested in. So I've never been the person who's like, oh, the most money is here, I'm doing that. Like, because I can make a ton of money, and if I'm not happy doing what I'm doing, I'm just not gonna be happy. So I would choose something. I think it probably would have changed if you asked me 20 years ago than now, but probably endocrinology, just because I have the most experience with that, and I know how it affects people of my population. Or honestly, while it's really, I don't think I could stomach being an ER doctor. There is something about helping people in their time of need, like right away. Like, what I find so interesting about it is when the doctors actually have to, like, it's not clear, right? You don't just run a blood test and it's like, oh, that's the problem. They have to, like, rule things out and look at all the variables. And that's the really interesting thing. So, whatever doctor does that, sign me up.
Diagnostician. You want to be house.
I guess. I never watched that show, but yeah,
I
maybe.
never either, but
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Love it. Oh, before we wrap too, I need to tell
Yeah.
you because I thought about this when we were talking about a previous segment. You mentioned the Dr. Phil show. Do you know that when we were living in LA in the early days, I interviewed for a job at the Dr. Phil show?
I did
I
not
don't know
know
if I ever
that.
told you that. Yeah, I went to their office
Oh
and I don't really remember the interview so well, but I remember seeing people sitting around doing stuff and it was Dr. Phil.
oh my
Didn't
God.
end up
Well,
happening.
I wish you would have gotten that job just so you could ask him like if this trial consultation thing is real. But
Yeah.
I think you ended up in a good spot,
It all
not
worked
working
out.
for him also. It all worked out. It was all
It was
fine.
all fine. So I do feel like we started this like really just fun TV and then it got like
Dark.
it got kind of dark. The healthcare. Oh my God, what are people with arthritis going to do? What the people who are retired and all they do is stare at their screens. Like, what's going to happen? Corrupt paid testimony people if they exist. So I really need to ask you, Cindy, with all of that, is it going to be fine?
It has to be fine. And until it's fine, I'm gonna mostly watch lighthearted comedies
Friends,
and
yeah.
social deduction reality shows and friends. Like until it's fine. Like that's my bar. What do you think it's gonna be
Well, that's a
fine?
good point. I mean, it's a really good point because we're not asking, like, is it fine right now? We're asking, is it going to be fine? So I will always keep some hope that it will be for sure. And I say this a lot, the fact that we can talk about it and like we pay attention to these topics and don't just like, oh, it's about old people or retirees. I don't care. No, we care. And like, as long as we do that, I'm hopeful it'll be fine.
Yeah. And being in this space with you gives me hope that it's going to be
Oh,
fine. Like I
yeah.
miss you desperately, and I feel like yeah, this is something I wouldn't have conceived of, you know, 18 years ago when we met. I don't know, a real long time ago.
17 years ago. Yep.
17 years
Very
ago that
good.
we met, like I don't think I would have been like, oh, we're gonna have like really intense conversations in 17 years about the state of the
Oh,
world.
yeah.
Um, but we did then, and we are now, and like if if our friendship is any like level, it's gonna be fine.
It's going to be
It has
fine.
to be. There's gonna always be joy.
Yes. Okay. I love that. We can end there. Cindy, I am so happy that you did this. I would love for you to come back and do it again. It was so good to see you.
I know you have to
I have to
go.
go. I'll see you again soon. And for everybody else, we'll see you next time.